All right, okay, so I just wanted to go over my analysis for this upcoming week. Okay, guys. So for the most part, GBP USD has been really holding off between this range and trapping. So now that the new week has actually started, when the new bar actually comes out, I'm expecting the market to pretty much travel upwards back to this gray perimeter for a take profit of 45 pips, or definitely down to any of these levels, back down to here for 88 pips. So, but for the most part, we're still pretty much holding out between this range. So when we go outside of this range, as we can see, we're going to have these target profits to kind of hit and everything like that. So it really depends on, how everything's going to go. Now, what I like to do is to take entries that's based on open and closing of candles, full candles. So that means that when a new day starts, I can take an entry. If I find a position, going back to the full candle, going back down to there, or the full candle coming back down to here. So that's what proper timing actually about. So GBP, JPY is very similar factors holding up between this range and also that range. So new bar is going to start, and new bar will probably push up to the gray area for at least 70 pips, and then travel back down here for 160 something odd pips. So that's some opportunity that's going on. GBP NZD, let's take a look here on the daily and see. GBP NZD has been holding up through here for quite some time now. Very, very long time. And this is a big move that's getting ready to happen. We're talking about big, really coming from here, 104 pips to say the least, and also going down to here to like 91 pips, 100 pips, if not all the way down to here. So this is one of the biggest trade setups that I'm actually waiting on. That is going to be very, very good. Other than that, we have this range that's back and forth of, just shy of like 70 to 80 pips that we keep dealing with, and just pretty much that whole phase. GBP Audi here, as we can see, it's the same thing. It's starting to breach in its trap range. Now that we have a new bar, we can trade within that trap range, coming back up to here for 90 pips, any of these perimeters. If we was to travel outside of there, we'll probably hit right around here for 80, 140, and down to here for 177, but we just got to wait and see how it holds up. The GBP CAD is holding up orders between here and also between this range. So more specifically, what's going to happen is the new day is going to come out. It's going to come up to here of the silver perimeter for about 86 pips. Next day would actually come down to here for about 13 pips. If it continues, then that's really great. We're going to do about 63 pips to say the least, 88 pips and everything like that. Now, outside of our zones here, from that zone back up to here, 100 pips. So we got some really good opportunities. Then outside this zone back down to here, 167 and 264. GBP Swiss francs, let's take a look. So if you guys can see, the GBP crosses are just really trapping between that set range and that set range. So when we open out on a new bar, we have opportunity coming up to here, opportunity coming back down to there. We could continue from this point back down to these perimeters, and then go from there back down to here. But for the most part, we're still hanging kind of like within that range. And then I have just a tad bit more that's going on down to here. So Audi JPY is doing outstanding. We're coming to a perimeter. So what's more than likely is going to happen, new bar is actually going to continue to rise up here, okay, to this region. If this region, we're going to probably take back some of this back down to here, and then we can pretty much see what's going on after that. But there's a lot of opportunity that's coming out from there. And our Euro JPY here is pretty much the same thing, where we're going to have a very similar situation where our new bar could come up to here, 27 pips and 94 pips. If not, it'll take back some down to these regions, in that region of 107 pips. And then last but not least, a couple ones, matter of fact here. USD JPY is relatively the same thing. So coming back down for 45 pips, back down to 120 pips and everything of that sort. And then NZD JPY is very similar. As we can see, that's the trap range that's going out from there. And coming back down to here for 108 pips, okay? And above here, we have opportunity of 92 pips, all right? So this is a very nice play that's going on with these assets here. All right, okay, with my second analysis, we're actually gonna go over to the Dow Jones, okay? So if we take a look here, Dow Jones is set up and I'm having really good eyesight with the Dow Jones. So once the monthly is actually pretty much up, depending on what we're going to do, we're going to travel up to this, remember, and back down to here, okay? So weekly's been doing very, very nice. Our easy potential coming down to the weekly is back down to this range, which is doing outstanding. So on our daily, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to finish this bar. We'll probably come up just a tad bit to its maximum of this level with the new bar. If not, we're just going to basically come down down to this degree for a minimum amount of that amount of pips. And if we continue a lot further, then we have very, very much really good gains that's going on. Okay. So the 4 hour is really looking set, and even the 1 hour currently right now is basically holding orders within this region. Okay. So this is basically for the Dow Jones that's going on. So the US 30 index. And that's one that I'm really keeping an eye up on because as the accounts start to really grow, then this is going to be a major player for us. Okay. All right. So if you guys have any questions, then just go ahead and let me know. And I wish you guys much success and, of course, happy trading. All right, guys, welcome back. So I want to show you guys the date here, okay? So it is April 22nd. The markets haven't really been moving as much, so that's why I waited a little bit longer. Normally I can get analysis before and after pretty much done within a week. This analysis was still set for the 12th, so that's the original date. Now we're doing an update up on the 22nd. Okay, so I want to show you guys exactly how everything did exactly pretty much what I said. So this perimeter here is where I had marked off. I told you guys the market will come up to this region and then essentially come all the way back down to here. Okay, so going to the upside, we would have had 36 pips and then coming back down to the downside here, roughly 95 pips, okay? Now with GBP JPY, I told you guys the same thing, a very similar scenario. Could come back up near this region and then come back going down towards this broader band right here. And that's roughly 152 pips that this target has actually gotten. GBP NZD did exactly what I told it would do, guys. I told you guys that it was hanging between these ranges. As you can see, it came down to this minimum profit of right around 47 pips, okay? And then it shot all the way up to this target here, guys, of 215 pips, just like I stated. And now we're pretty much holding back within this range. So it's pretty much the same thing here. GBP Audi, guys, as we stated there, I told you if not hanging back in this range, as we come out down to this region, and as we can see, it still came back to touch my targets here. And I told you guys that we'll clear out to here and clear out to this level. So if you guys take a look back at the previous video forecast that I actually did, I didn't mark this level, but I told you guys that there's a possibility it would still come at this level. And as we can see, the market turned around from that region and it's coming back within its zone here, okay? GBP CAD, guys, it did very, very wonderful. I told you guys that it would come up to this region, okay, right as soon as that actually happened. So that's 111 pips, and then go back down to the zone for another 103 pips, okay? GBP Swiss francs, it's still stalling out from there. I told you guys yet again that the market would trend up to this zone, and it's currently holding orders right around this region, and that's right around about 69 pips. Audi JPY, guys, I stated that we could go up to this region of 47 pips. It actually did right around 34 pips and then pretty much turn around to hit this target of 78 pips. Euro USD, we had a very similar situation where I told you guys come back up to this region to tag out right around 32 pips. We can see that it got right around 21 pips and then it landed right down to this target at 84 pips. All right, guys, I nearly almost forgot USD JPY. I was like, how could I, right? So USD JPY, as we can see, we left off there on the 12th. It actually came up to this region, which was not too much. So right around 15 pips. And then it literally came crashing down to our minimum target profit of 23 and very close to our 38 pip level right here, okay? So once again, this is on the 12th. This is analysis that the update that I'm actually doing is for the 22nd. And I mean, you know, it's like this every week, guys. NZD JPY, guys, it was pretty much the same similar factor. There wasn't much room to go to the upside. So we topped off at right around 11, 12 pips and now crashed straight down to this target of 101 pips. And as we can see, we're still pulling on down and more than likely we're going to get to this region by the time of the end of the month. Now with our Dow Jones index here we go. This is the daily. I told you guys that we have a possibility that the market would still come up to this region. And as we see, the market came up to this region and started to hold orders. So as we can see, this is what it looked like on a 4-hour time frame. So hit the target all the way back up to here. And this is exactly what it looked like on a 1-hour time frame. So we left off to here, market pretty much just held up and hit this target with the Dow Jones index. Okay. So once again, guys, this is using Sage Arts analysis, market laws. Okay. This is not support and resistance or anything like that. Okay. I'm not using any other indications in regards to anything. This is just the fundamental principles down to market laws and also understanding how Sage Arts are, okay? It is like this 100% of the time, all right? You guys are so biased to one side, and that's the problem, where I'm able to identify both sides of opportunity and also a third possible outcome. So I'm always prepared to take money no matter which way the direction is actually going in a market, okay? Now understand this, guys. Our Sage Arts market laws is the underlying base fundamental of market wizardry. So when our market wizardry production comes out in about 3 or 4 months, and I want you guys to understand this very, very clearly, okay? Because maybe you guys are not taking it as serious as you should be. When I first initially started taking in students and teaching them the Sage Arts, I was charging $8,000 to $15,000 for 12 months, okay? That's what I was doing. And then I started charging $5,000 to $8,000 for long-term active students. And then from there, I brought in a case study group and I started to get like a group of 3, a group of 4 that was still paying 3 or 4 grand, just so that I can split test the group and see which angle was most effective in regards to mastering the Sage Arts process, okay? So when you guys are asking us about group buys and we're saying, hey, we got a group buy deal spot at 2 grand, or we have a group buy deal spot at $1,000, as long as we have a collective whole of 10 students coming in, this is essentially what you guys are getting access to, okay? Now, the only difference with the Market Wizard production is that we're starting off at $2,500 for pre-recorded content. So you guys are not even getting it live anymore. This is going to be pre-recorded. You guys are going to be watching video mobs, and more than likely you guys would come with right around 3 months of my trade analysis that's set up just like this, where you get access to my pre-analysis. I'll show you how to read my perimeters so that you guys can understand what you're looking for, what to expect, and everything in that nature, okay? Now, after that, it's going to be $3,500. After that rate, if you guys want to do more of an internship, then it's going to be $5,000. And then if you guys actually want personal mentoring, our apprenticeship will start at $8,000, okay? And the next level after that is $25,000. And the next level after that is a 6-figure price tag. So I'm not playing any more games with 2019 and 2020 and everything like that, being that I'm already connected with a hedge fund and I'm managing capital for hedge funds. So I don't have no use in even teaching this information anymore to retail traders anymore. But without a doubt, I want to leave my imprint on this industry in a way that it will affect the masses. Okay, and that means better direction, the truth, and a ton of knowledge without there always being a price tag. Okay, all right, guys. So you know the drill. Check the links down below. Got some awesome stuff for you. If you guys haven't already looked into our mini lesson series, then you guys are really missing out because those are the nuggets. Okay, so I wish you guys much success and of course, happy trading.